Hello, Dr. Rome and YouTube channel followers. You very few. Today I'm going to be reviewing Focus on Leadership's chapter 12 and 13, Larry Spears' book, Focus on Leadership. And today with 12 and 13, we're diving into the authors James Shokier and John C. Bogle. James Shokier is a very experienced education businessman. He's spoken at many things. He's got just a lot of experience in organization development, and he's worked with Ford, BMW, or Buick, a bunch of other companies. He was the president of the Autism Society of Michigan, and just has a lot of experience in terms of business and organizations. Here's a picture of him. He's bald. Nice beard, though. But yeah, so he definitely has experience in seeing how servant leadership applies in organizations. So we will dive right into the business case for servant leadership. So there's quite a few things that stuck out to me, but the first one was on page 158, and he's talking about how compliance and just kind of the nonchalant version of servant leadership doesn't work. And he's saying compliance is not commitment. It doesn't create passion. It doesn't make people wiser. It doesn't encourage accountability. On and on. He's saying all these things. If you want to have a successful company, it's not just about compliance. It's about getting fully involved and surrounded around the cause and being in it, And so he finishes this quote explaining compliance. He says, if the business, in fact, does not need any of these things, those things being all the positives that he was talking about, then compliance is a reasonable answer. Servant leadership is much more than putting on a compassionate face on compliance, putting a compassionate face on compliance. Page 158. So yeah, I think it's just telling us that we really need to be bought into it if we're going to do servant leadership as a strategy for leading. And it's not just like, oh, we need to comply and just follow all these rules and just make people obey every beckoning order of us. That's not servant leadership at all. So as he's saying there, compliance, no good. And then on the next page, actually, 159, he's talking about the things that servant leaders should value. And so one of them that kind of stuck out to me is diversity of thought. And to me, it's just so valuable to focus on not just viewing every situation and problem from just my own perspective, but getting other people involved in decision making. And so whenever I'm going through any kind of struggle or questioning things, first I always call my mom, and she always has some good advice. But then I'll talk to my wise friends about it, spiritual mentors, and just kind of getting a diversity of thought in anything I do, like any big decision. And so I think that can also be applied in leadership by including all subordinates, everyone underneath, to join in, and let's all figure out these problems together. And that kind of ties in with the next quote I have, page 160 and 161. In today's marketplace, the major problem with the traditional system is that it consolidates organizational power in places that have the least marketplace and customer contact. Those with the most contact are the least powerful. And just explaining, for example, Trader Joe's. You have the front line, the cashiers, the people that stock things. They're the ones that are the face of the company. I mean, they're hands-on and all this and that, but are they the ones that are calling the shots? Probably not. There's probably a manager that does see parts of it, but even they might not call all shots. There's somebody above them that maybe never even enters the store that's making decisions for that store that doesn't even have the customer contact. They don't understand. So it's important to include all people in big decisions, and just having that diversity of thought and allowing the people who are in contact to help support the company and take position in it, take a little bit of responsibility. And I think that I have one more thing that kind of stuck out on 159, just talking about these intentions of those qualities that servant leadership should have. Place the bet that individuals will choose for accountability and responsibility for serving the business when given the opportunity, literacy, and support. So just saying that those individuals, like, you're trusting somebody when you're applying servant leadership. You're trusting that they won't just mooch off of you or take advantage of you. And so it's important to focus on hiring the right people and spending time hiring in the hiring process. And so through that, you can build up a strong face of the company, these people that are going to be interacting. And through hiring the right people, you will find that you can rely on these people at all times, and they're going to hold the values of the company. And so that's kind of all I had from that section. But then chapter 13, John C. Bogle, very successful American investor. He was the guy that invented Vanguard, the mutual fund group, and he was born in 1929 and died in 2019. So here is a picture. Yeah, so just super successful founder and chief executive, CEO of the Vanguard Group. And so he was just a very successful businessman, also a philanthropist. So he cared about the people that were behind his vision. And yeah, we'll just dive into it. So the first quote I pulled, page 172, talking about servant leadership. He's saying, if an institution is to achieve as a servant, then only those who are natural servants, those who want to lift others, should be empowered to lead. So it's important, kind of with what James is saying, that you need to have, you need to hire the right people in the organization and be paying attention to who are these people that are going to be serving. If we want to commit to a culture of serving, we need to be attentive to who we have coming in, who we're raising up within our organization, and empowering them to be the natural servants. And so the ones that do lift others up, they will be empowered. So hiring from within and promoting from within is just such a key thing. So the next quote I got, page 176. He says, the third need, he's talking about different needs for institution outside of foresight. So he says, finally, let me surprise you by emphasizing this third need. We need people who care about the institution. A deep sense of caring for the institution is required for success. So I think a lot of this is tying in with doing a deep dive during the hiring process, but I think also creating a company culture where people really care and people care about their jobs outside of just making money. You want to have people that are on board with your mission and vision, and you do that by empowering them into knowing what the mission and vision is and having it in their hearts, getting people on board for a good cause. It's one thing to just be focused on making a ton of money and being the best, but what kind of philanthropy are you doing? What kind of actions are you taking to make people proud of where they work? I just think of companies that just, they'll pass off some money to a charity, versus companies that are boldly taking their own steps of action to do great things. It makes the employees proud of where they work. And then the last quote I had from this section, page 177, what distinguishes a superior company from its competitors is not the dimensions that usually separates companies, such as superior technology, more astute market analysis, better financial base, etc. It is non-conventional thinking about its dreams, what this business wants to be, how its priorities are set, and how it organizes to serve. It has a radical philosophy and self-image. And I think it ties in with the previous quote of caring about the organization, having that sense of knowing who you are and why you do it outside of just making money. Having that radical philosophy, like we're going to be better in every way, not only because of our business strategy, business plan, but to have this thought that we are the best in everything we do, in serving, in taking care of the customers, and helping the employees, in benefits and everything. Make it a place that people love. So overall, I thought these chapters were cool. Um, yeah, so definitely lots of wisdom. That's all I really have. And yeah, thank you for watching. Peace.